Welcome to Houston Baptist University's Psych 4326, The Psychology of Death and Dying. Reminder, these presentations are only intended to highlight some important or difficult points from the chapter. They are in no way comprehensive and do not include all the material students will be held responsible for on exams. You are expected to completely and thoroughly engage with all of the required learning materials. Exams in this course may include questions taken from the textbook readings, videos, and PowerPoint presentations. This presentation covers important topics from Chapter 14 in our textbook. Make sure you read all the chapter and take notes. There is much more material in the chapter than we are covering in this presentation. This chapter covers young and middle adulthood, which covers the span of some 40 years in the human life course, from the early 20s to the mid-60s. Young adulthood runs from 21 to 45, and the normal developmental task is to achieve intimacy and generativity. Middle adulthood, or middle age, runs from 45 to 65, and is often described as the sandwich generation, as they are situated developmentally between their own children and their parents. The differences in causes of death. For young adults, accidents were by far the leading cause of death in 2014. Suicide and homicide were the next two. Whereas in middle adulthood, cancer and heart disease accounted for over 51% of all deaths, followed at a great distance by accidents. Young adults who are coping with a terminal illness have unique needs. Their basic developmental task is to achieve intimacy. A life-threatening illness challenges their ability to develop these intimate relationships and obtain realistic support for their goals and life plans. An inability to develop intimate relationships can result in isolation or feelings of abandonment. The illness may also threaten goals and future plans, such as marriage and children, pursuing educational or vocational aspirations. If the principal developmental task for middle-aged adults is the pursuit of generativity, a life-threatening illness normally involves reevaluating one's life and putting one's affairs in order. Today I interviewed a woman who is terminally ill. So, I tried to delicately ask, what is it like to wake up every morning and know that you are dying? Well, she responded, what is it like to wake up every... There are many losses that may involve bereavement and grief. The loss of a valued job or infertility can challenge a sense of what one is and bring powerful impact. When death strikes, it is painful on those left behind. The kind of death that occurred can impact the experience of bereavement. Make sure you read the personal insights in this chapter. They're very moving and can provide you with good insights. The death of a child can occur anytime from a fetal death taking place in the uterus to a neonatal or infant death, to a child up to young adulthood. All are difficult. After experiencing the death of their child, a parent may be hit out of nowhere by questions from new acquaintances. Questions like, how many children do you have? Tell me about your children. And other seemingly harmless questions. These things add to the grief and mourning experienced. Guilt in parental bereavement. The feelings of helplessness and responsibility can lead to feelings of guilt, worries that they caused the guilt in some way, or didn't fulfill their role as a good parent to the child, or even moral guilt, feeling that the child was punished for their personal shortcomings. Make sure you read Chapter 14 thoroughly and understand the terms found at the back of the chapter. There is so much more than we're covering in this presentation. I'll see you in Chapter 15.